the story of World War I, the Great War, unfolded. World War I, also known as the Great War, reshaped the course of history. Spanning from 1914 to 1918, this conflict saw unprecedented destruction and loss of life. Join us as we unravel the events that led to the war, the major battles, and its lasting impact on the world. Chapter 1: Causes of the War. In the early 20th century, Europe was a powder keg of rising nationalism, imperial ambitions, and military build-up. Nations formed complex alliances for protection and power. On one side was the Triple Entente: France, Russia, and the United Kingdom. Opposing them was the Triple Alliance: Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. The spark that ignited this volatile situation was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist, in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914. This single event triggered a cascade of diplomatic and military responses that plunged Europe into war. Chapter 2: Major Fronts and Battles. Once the war began, it spread rapidly across multiple fronts. On the Western Front, stretching from the North Sea to the Swiss border, trench warfare defined the grueling conflict. The Battle of the Marne, the longest single battle of the War of Verdun, and the bloody Battle of the Somme, where over 1 million men were wounded or killed, exemplified the horrific stalemate. On the Eastern Front, vast battles between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Russia led to immense casualties and shifting front lines. The Battle of Tannenberg and the Brusilov offensive were particularly significant. Other fronts included the Italian front with its harsh mountain battles, the Balkan front marked by fierce fighting in Serbia and Greece, and the Middle Eastern campaigns where the Ottoman Empire clashed with British and Arab forces. Chapter 3: Life during the war. For soldiers, life in the trenches was a daily ordeal of mud, rats, and the constant threat of enemy attack. The psychological toll of this relentless warfare led to what we now know as shell shock, or PTSD. On the home front, civilians faced rationing, propaganda, and the loss of loved ones. Women stepped into roles traditionally held by men, working in factories, farms, and as nurses, profoundly changing societal norms. Chapter 4: Technological and Tactical Innovations. World War I saw significant technological and tactical innovations. Tanks rumbled onto the battlefield, machine guns mowed down waves of infantry, and poison gas introduced a new level of horror. In the skies, aircraft evolved from reconnaissance tools to deadly fighters and bombers. Naval warfare also advanced, with U-boat campaigns and the monumental Battle of Jutland highlighting the importance of naval power. Chapter 5: The United States enters the war. The United States initially remained neutral, but events like the sinking of the Lusitania, unrestricted submarine warfare, and the Zimmerman telegram pushed the U.S. to join the Allies in 1917. The influx of American troops and resources provided a much-needed boost to the exhausted Allied forces, helping to turn the tide of the war. Chapter 6: The War's End and Aftermath. After 4 years of relentless fighting, the war finally drew to a close. An armistice was signed on November 11, 1918, bringing an end to the hostilities. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, imposed harsh penalties and reparations on Germany, sowing the seeds for future conflict. The war reshaped borders, toppled empires, and led to significant political and social changes. The legacy of World War I is a stark reminder of the devastating costs of war and the importance of striving for lasting peace. World War I left an indelible mark on the world, a lesson in the devastating power of conflict and the resilience of the human spirit. As we reflect on this tumultuous period, let us remember the sacrifices made and strive to build a future rooted in understanding and cooperation.